These new tricks will help you master the brand new update. Now, to start off small, in order to have a garage or get your vehicles into a garage, you actually have to build the vehicles first and then the garage doors second. The reason is, despite them being small enough, or as far as the Speedster being small enough, they just won't fit through the doors just because of how they have their hitboxes in those areas. So in order to do this, what I recommend is breaking down the walls completely before moving your vehicles in and out. Obviously, that is very annoying to have to do repeatedly, so you guys could just go ahead and leave this completely open to allow vehicles in and out of, or simply replace them after your vehicle has been moved out, or set them in these garage doors permanently. Now, one big issue with trucks or any of the cars is that front bumper breaks extremely easy. And that's because it's made out of wood and wooden rods. So because it breaks so easily, you can't really drive these things for very long, because if you hit a tree, even as little as what I did just there, you see not only do the wooden rods break, but that allows for other pieces to break as well, because that is no longer in the area. Now, if you want to make your truck even tougher, that way it doesn't break, you want to use materials that take either frost pine, iron, or sapphire. Now, the reason why you're going to do this is because small trees can't break frost pine, or any materials made out of that can't break frost pine. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going to put 2 frost pine floors on this front end here. And just like they showed in the demonstration video, you can now decorate this entire vehicle just so it looks like it fits in a little bit more. So using things like that sword medallion or that pennant on the wall that has the iron in it, you could use that. You could also just use more frost pine and maybe grab this golden barrel. But once you have a design like this onto the front, you actually cannot possibly break it, because you need something that can break frost pine in order to remove it. Now, when I jump into my truck, I could drive into this tree, and you guys can now see that the front end of my truck actually doesn't take any damage, but I am able to destroy these trees after a few attempts at driving into them. So this is a really good way to go ahead and make your trucks a little bit tougher, so that every single one of your vehicles isn't breaking as easy. It just makes them a little bit harder to break. Now, while speaking of making things harder to break, the other issue is that vehicles flip too easily. So what you guys want to do is have a wrench and some materials for small thrusters, and we're going to put some on the back of our vehicles to make these go a little bit faster. You also want to switch both of these on to channel number 1. That way you could turn those on using your steering wheel. Next, in order to help make this anti-flip, we're going to put thrusters onto the middle portion of our Jeep here. Now, I'm going to put them on both sides and assign the channel to a different one on each side. So on the right side, it's going to be channel number 3, and on the left side, it'll be channel number 2. Now, the final step to making this unflippable is you're going to now go ahead and put these thrusters on the top facing down, so that when you flip, you can actually use these in order to turn yourself around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to flip this so I could demonstrate this for all of you. Now, all of us have driven off of the side of a cliff or a hill, and then our thing looks just like this. Now, this is on the left side, which means that channel number 2 is going to be what helps flip this. So I just need to get off of this wall here, and now that thruster will propel ourselves forward and up and completely flip our vehicle without me even having to get outside of this. So putting those on both sides so I could do this no matter which side my vehicle flips on. Now, another trick that you guys could do, especially when it comes to the much smaller vehicle being the speeder, I don't recommend using this to begin with, but this vehicle turns and it falls over a lot. It's very light, and it makes sure that it flips on its side as often as it can. It's just really, they don't want you to use this thing at all. But one thing that you guys could do in order to flip this, and this also does work on the Jeeps, is you could actually take a balloon and throw this onto anywhere on this item. So when you throw this onto it, it's just going to lift the entire thing up. Now, the best way to do this is to put it on the side rather than directly on the top of the vehicle, because you see that it floats straight up. If you're able to put this on the side, it is much easier. So I'm happy that I had my grapple with me, because that way I actually was able to get up to it. But using that balloon, you can get it to flip over rather than having to break it and rebuild the entire thing. Like I said, this also works on the truck and it works on the Jeep that you have as well. It just takes a little bit more than one single small balloon. Now guys, I know I'm showing this video or this glitch for the third time, but this does tie into making your vehicles extremely good in this game. If you guys don't know how this glitch works, all that you guys need is cord, planks, and granite. This is going to get you an infinite amount of granite, which again will help you guys in the long run when it comes to these vehicles. All that you want to now do is have access into the large steering wheel. If you guys don't have that, build the hauler, and that should give you access to this driver's seat. Now, go up to a dynamic foundation, a large one, and nudge this tool off of this dynamic foundation. You'll know if you did this right because it should hang off the side and still show on green. If it doesn't and it's still red, just nudge it back on and back off, and do this until you have this glitch happen where you're pressing the placement button and it's just duplicating and giving you pieces in return. You can get this up to an infinite amount of granite. Now, since you guys went ahead and did that glitch and you have an infinite amount of granite now, what we're going to go ahead and do is grab the gray or the black floors in the game, thanks to using that granite glitch. Now, if you guys don't have this, you guys could use regular style of floors as well, but I'm going to use the all black Durburger ones, which do take granite, and I do recommend using floors that require granite as they are a little bit sturdier, especially when it comes to these vehicles. So what you guys now want to go and do is just decorate your roads and place as many of these as you can. Now we're going to go ahead and create roads, and you guys are going to see this later on in the video when I use the vehicle. Is this actually gives you a much better driving experience in comparison to driving on the sand, driving on the grass, driving over mountains, and things just like that. Now, obviously, building roads across your entire biome is going to take a very long time to do, and obviously can be very annoying. However, now that you have infinite amounts of granite, you guys can go ahead and really build as many floors and roads as you guys would like that bring you directly to different biomes and bases that you guys don't have access to or struggle to get with these current vehicle builds. Doing the invincibility glitch with it by putting the frost pine on the front along with having roads is going to make the vehicles a million times better. Now, I want to show you guys this little trick that we did here now when it comes to these roads. And you guys can tell me maybe I'm like confused, maybe I'm lost, maybe I'm a little bit delusional. But on these roads, obviously your vehicles are going to perform a little bit better. You do want to make these a little bit wider than I did, and maybe even remove those white lines as well. But the bottom line is, when it comes to these, because there's less hills and because these are just a flat surface, overall the wheels and everything about it work so much better. Now, something else that I realized is when I'm driving on the dirt or on the sand, my vehicle goes extremely slow. But when I go onto the road here, I actually go extremely fast. Now, maybe this is like a placebo, or maybe I'm just kind of delusional and not seeing things right, but the way that it looks is your vehicles work much faster and may save some battery cell simply by using the roads.